Okay, good morning, everyone. Let's call the July meeting order. And first, we get roll call.
Sure. Let me get to my minutes here. Tom Duffy.
Yeah.
John Righeimer.
Here.
Brian Bissonette. He's online.
Yep.
Stacy Hessel.
Here.
Chris Rusk.
Here.
You have a full house.
Okay, let's please stand for the pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God,
Indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If you just. And we're about this.
This meeting has been noticed to the public and news media as required by section 19.84 of the Wisconsin statutes.
Meeting agenda consent, everybody has to be the agenda. We move on to public comments. We have one
Linda Zilmer, resident of the Village of Birchwood, Edgewater property owner. First of all, I'd like to address item number 15, which is a broadband update. Mosaic Telecom, which has been supported by both Washburn County and Sawyer County, had a phase 1 and phase 2 project that came up through Barron County, through the Village of Birchwood, and up into the town of Edgewater. I don't see where the providers that have been supported are providing the counties with information as far as where they have installed the main fiber optic lines, how many rooftops they've connected with their connection lines, and how many customers are actually joining on as customers. What I'm experiencing down in our area is not many people are making that switch to Mosaic. I have a neighbor who is owns a business on the western side of the state. They were CenturyLink customers. They were unable to run their business from that CenturyLink connection. They went to Starlink. We're very happy with it. But then with this phase 2 Mosaic that was installed, they switched to Mosaic, and they're probably going to go back to Starlink. Connectivity is not reliable and the speeds are not what they need. And I think these providers that have been supported with public dollars should be reporting back. The other thing is also related to communications. It's my repeated request to look at cellular communications. There are long time gaps, and now with added tourists and summer homeowners, there's also congestion on the lines. So a number of us have been trying to contact carriers. The one I'm most familiar with is Verizon. You get a variety of responses because there are no outages. There are no disruptions to service, but it's primarily congestion because of the number of users competing for cell towers. So those of us who did have cell phone connections, we did not have them over the Memorial Day holiday. We did not have them over the extended 4th of July. So there, something needs to be looked at, I think, from the county, not just the focus on broadband, but also on cellular communications as far as how they affect our emergency services as well as residents. Thank you.
Thanks, Linda. Anybody online here that wants to talk, Lynn?
Nope.
No. Okay, let's move on then to the minutes. Can we have the approval of the minutes? Stacy? Second by Chris. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Very well, they're approved. We'll move on then to the fair. Do you have any information, Stacy?
I know that they're getting the grounds ready for the fair in August. That's all I haven't been to a meeting because I'm not the, sorry. I haven't been to a meeting because I'm not the rep for the county, but I know that they're getting the grounds ready for the August fair, and that's what they've been working on.
Did they have a fundraiser?
Well, they had the barn dance back in June,
How
but
did that go?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. All right. Let's move on then to the University of Wisconsin Extension. Lori,
Good
you
morning.
have the stage.
Wow. I feel like I need to better prepare if I have a stage. But anyway, I gave you a quick report that we were able to just download from our recording results system. Wanted to have something in your hands we do not have support staff to be able to provide the reports that I normally do for you. So it's a little down and dirty, but you can still read through it. You'll see under the ag part, you'll see Kevin's name on a few of the abstract sentences there, as well as some other people who have done some ag work for Sawyer County. And then on the next page, the health and well-being section is really what Kim and Bridget do with your FoodWise education here in Sawyer County. And so there's a few highlights for that. And then at the end, the positive youth development is what Donna does as well. She's at camp. This week is camp, 4-H camp. So I'm sure she'll be back around and tell you how all of that went next month, maybe. You'll notice too that there is not a section for your community youth or community development person. That's Ariga, and she plans to be here next month to report in person. So I didn't want to include anything on the report for her this time around. So the one thing that I do want to draw attention to with this report is under the human development and relationships section. That's where you will find the information for the literacy link. You may remember me talking about that in the past. There's an educator out of Bayfield County who does some education with justice involved families. And so they do some work with the jail here in Sawyer County and provide opportunities for parents to connect with their children through storytelling. So they have made an ask that Molly and I are going to touch base about with today, as well as the Family Resource Center here in Sawyer, to provide kind of a host site so that families can come in to kind of a child-friendly atmosphere and be able to connect through the internet with their families in the jail and be able to read stories to each other that way, and free books given to families and things like that. So that's kind of a new effort. The justice involved education and working with the jails isn't a new effort, but trying to connect with libraries as well as Family Resource Center to just connect people to the resources that are here in their backyard and how to better use them is something that's on our radar that we're trying to do. So I wanted to give you that update, and hopefully then the next time I report, I can give you a little bit more information about how families are experiencing that. Any questions? I need to
Any
keep going.
questions, anyone? Okay, good. Thanks,
Ready?
Laurie.
Thank you.
Yep. Okay, let's move on then to Hayward Lakes. Sherry.
So I provided a report early for you guys to review. Just some of the things that the economic impact. Usually we used to get those numbers in May, but with the Department of Tourism now, they pushed it off to July. So that's why it seems later this year than normal. But everything is good. We were up 7.6%. We had 103.3 million in Sawyer County visitors spending, which was an increase of 7.7%. We also had 95 million in direct visitor spending, which supported about 941 jobs and 31 million in labor income. The thing that's interesting is that without the revenue that we bring in, each household would have to pay about 620 more in taxes to maintain the same services. So that's good news for us. And then I kind of gave you some of the room tax. The town of Hayward was up 13,000 from 21 to 22. The town of Hunter basically broke even. They were down about 600, but I think that's just, that could be one rental. The town of Bass Lake was up, and then the town of Round Lake was up because of the fact that they had only collected for part of 1 year. So that's why they're higher. We have Discover Wisconsin in town. You're going to be here in the next couple weeks, and they're going to be filming some different things. We are working with the Nelson Lake Resort Association because one episode is like $40,000. And so we decided we're going to do half of an episode. So then when it airs, it's all of Hayward at one time. So it's not like you have Hayward for the first 15 minutes and then you have the Wisconsin Dells. So we're working together on that. We're also doing something new in Madison with Fox 47. It's called Wisconsin's Great Outdoor TV Campaign. So we're just starting that. It'll start in the fall. So they're going to come and collect some information in the next month. And then there's a couple little free PR things that I put on there. And then I just wanted to let you know that the state budget was really did some wins for tourism. So the personal property tax was repealed, and I don't know if I can go into that, but that will save our lodging industry a lot of tax money. There's also a retailer's tax discount that they passed. So right now, if they are allowed like 0.5% that they get to keep for collecting the tax, and they're going to increase that to 0.75%. So that's a win for retailers. And then also Milwaukee had asked for $10 million, and the governor said, we'll give you 1 million, and then we'll put 9 million into the tourism budget for everybody in the state. So I think that was a win for us as well. And that's about all I have. Any questions?
Do you have any information on the rodeo? How did they do down in Spooner last weekend?
I don't know. I almost volunteered, but then I didn't.
You were there? Big crowd? Were you riding Broncos, or what were you doing? Or a spectator? Yeah.
We're hoping we get the overflow, right? There are no rooms available.
I did see Michelle, the old director for Washburn Tourism. Her little daughter was riding a calf, I think.
And I see the,
That's great.
I see the battle still goes on the Spooner Blows Bridge and the Hayward Sucksville.
That, get on there. We didn't like that.
Yeah. Okay, anybody have any questions further? Sherry?
Yeah,
You have a written report, or did you send one?
I
out?
did. I did submit it, and you have it.
Okay,
Or well, it was in your packet, in your agenda.
okay, good. Thanks, Sherry.
Yep.
Okay, let's go on to Northwest Regional Planning. We have anything from Sheldon? No. Economic Development Corporation, anything new there? Anybody?
July, we're still looking for a draft.
I thought you were close.
I thought so too, but as of now, we don't have a director, and our next meeting will be in August.
Okay. Okay, so let's go to the library. Molly, you're on.
Hi, this is a whole new experience here. In addition to working with Lori, we're going to get the details ironed out. We have a community partnership now with Superior Credit Union, and they've done a year of planning for primarily children's programming. They will sponsor it, which is great news. And let's see, we did acquire a PBS grant and held a program about MAC reading and Compass reading this past Saturday. And our summer reading programs, which I gave you several copies of some flyers to give you examples, it has been just going gangbusters. It's not everyone's idea of a great time, but it makes me really happy to see people shoulder to shoulder in the kids' room. And we have been doing a program on Fridays with the Cable Natural History Museum, and they've had the kids outside getting lots of exercise. So that's been good too. So things are looking good.
Good.
Any questions?
Any questions? Okay, good.
Thanks.
Thanks, Molly. We don't have a report from Winter, do we? No. Okay, let's go on then to trails. You all have a handout from Kathy LaRue. She basically says they've had a busy trail work. It's been hot and dry, so trails are dusty. A lot of four-wheelers around and a lot of side-by-sides around. Any report on that, Sherry, from you? I know the numbers must be up. I don't know.
Sherry, is there any way to decipher like the ATVs and like snowmobiles using rooms? You know what I mean? Rather than just boating people or tourists in. I mean, ATV kind of a hot topic, you know what I mean? And. Right.
Yeah. Okay, let's go
If
on.
there was a way, that'd be cool. I mean, I'm not trying to add work to what you do. But. Or just coming to stay there just to ATV, you know?
Parking lot, check on the cars. Like some saloon packed.
Yeah, but you don't know if those are locals or.
Right.
That would be
Still bar
your-
member.
Okay, then going on to the Berkey report, you have a handout from Ben. Basically, the Berkey registration now is for the 50th is over 9,000, close to 10,000 already. And the Lumberjack is just a couple weeks away, and their annual meeting is August 12th. Any other questions of have either one of those reports? I assume not. What is going on, report on the LCO on the new clinic? See a lot of construction going on. Is there a deadline going on? Is there, when is your completion date or what's the? And what all are you gonna have there? How about Brian? Do you know, Brian, what's going on with the clinic? Brian knows everything.
Actually, I wish I did. In fact, we had to reroute, the small section of Trail 30, because I didn't even know that they were starting that project. Not until I seen the heavy equipment over there. And then, so apparently a contract's been signed. We're gonna build a new clinic. What it entails, I'm not sure, but it's got a pretty hefty price tag on there. So I assume that it's gonna offer all kinds of services beyond what we currently do right now.
Who's doing the construction? Do you know, is it local or you're?
Woodstone, I believe they're out of Minnesota, but they've been up here for probably, Chris, how long Woodstone been around?
I want to say 7 years.
Yeah, it's been a while.
They're doing the rehabilitation on all the homes for our housing tax
Okay.
credit projects.
We were talking earlier, it's tough to find workers. It's amazing. They
Yeah.
must bring them in from Minnesota.
No,
Well, they do.
they actually sub out local.
They really,
Yeah,
They're just the general contractor.
maybe we can put that on the agenda each month so you kind of keep us up to date. What's going on?
With the clinic?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a big project. Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Okay, thank you much. Historical Society, anything new there? Stacy, we'll keep going back to you. Do you know what?
It's still there.
It's still there and I know that they're open. I've seen a lot of cars when I've gone by, but I don't know the status of that. I mean, I'm just hoping that they're thriving. You know, getting people to understand why we are the way we are in our county, you know, where we came from, our history, that's really important. I know they do tours for schools as well, so
Do they charge to get into the Historical Society or is it donations?
I
or-
think it's a free will donation.
I mean, are they financially okay or?
It sounded like it at the last report.
Yeah,
I don't know everything, Tom, just so that you're aware.
you know more than the rest of us do.
But can I ask you to go back to broadband update? You missed that on the
Okay,
agenda.
I held off because Andy thought he would.
Oh,
be
I'm
back,
sorry.
but
Okay.
He's not
Thank you.
back, so let's go to
Okay, nope,
broadband.
you're cruising right along. You're doing great.
Okay, so you've had a handout from Andy. You had a chance to look at it. Anybody have any questions, comments?
Is that the broadband?
Yeah. You got it, green one. You've got it there.
Oh, I do.
Lynn, do you know if we can send this out to our constituents in our district to get or how are they advertising this besides just this flyer? Okay. So for right now, just hold fort, don't give it to anybody or? Okay, okay, great.
But I assume it'll be in the paper. It should be.
It should be, yeah. you
Yeah.
think.
Is, yeah,
Do we know what? So this is Andy or us looking to, because I thought the public comments were spot on. So this is looking to see, I mean, you can say you have internet, but we don't really have internet in many places. But is this state funded? This is the money?
I think this is through his BEAD program that he's working with so
Oh.
that they can map the northern part of the state.
Well, yeah, because I think we need to see if what was said in public comments, in my personal experience and others I've talked to, if that's happening elsewhere around, let's say, the Northland. I'm not sure if there's anything we can do about it, but there seems to be a lot of money going out there for really little return, anecdotally. I don't know if that's the case. And I don't know, what can be done about that? I mean, money's going to these companies and not really. And I guess they're gonna come back and say, well, we don't make money at it, but I think personally, I'll just leave it at this. I mean, the money's being wasted. It should go, if you want cellular service, go to Starlink and they should be buying those things up, not giving money to these companies that aren't really performing. So.
But John, we really need a map. We don't really know what.
No, I agree. I'm giving you
Covered.
anecdotal
Yeah.
observation, but
Yeah.
I think, if you could, right, I think this is a step in that direction to kind of see what's really, start to see what's happening.
Yeah. But somehow the information has to get out to the constituents. So we
Yeah.
know what.
Well, no doubt. I'm not against this. at
No,
all.
I
This
know.
is good. Yeah.
Okay, is there anything else we should talk about? Yeah, Linda.
Linda Zolmer again. I was at a Washburn County meeting where they handed these out and there's a second sheet. There's a July due date to respond and that's not printed out here. So it's unfortunate because people don't know that they need to respond. And I think there's an extended due date through the end of July. And as I understood it, Northwest Regional Planning is the one that's sending these out to the counties and they're just asking people to post it. So really, it hasn't been a very publicized rollout of this survey.
But I guess the problem, Linda, is we still don't know what part of the county is covered and what part isn't covered.
No, correct.
And-
But I mean, I think this is an attempt to try and figure
Yeah.
out what people.
And they assume we know something and we don't. So, okay. Okay, so future agenda items, anybody have any suggestions other than LCO? Right? Yeah. Yeah.
Do you want an expansion of that? Do you want the clinic or do you want like a full report from LCO?
I think it'd be nice to know what's going on at LCO. You guys, either you and Brian can get together and give us an update, what's going on, and I mean, you're part of the county, a big part of the county, so. People drive by and see the construction owner, what's going on, and they call Stacy and she doesn't know.
She's not answering fair. She's not answering that.
I'll work on that.
Yeah.
Goodness. I'll meet with you guys just
So-
so.
You're right.
So you and Brian will have that report next month, and that'll be, yeah.
Well, that
Okay.
should be. from-
Anything else anybody wants to talk about?
Probably would have all that, yeah.
If not, we'll be adjourned. Thank you all for coming. Enjoy the rest of the day.
It's a record time.
Yeah. Good. Good job.